students of textile department, because they need the basic tools and understanding to model physical systems. And so we planned to have this series of lectures at a fairly preliminary level, so that one can catch the basics, and we will start from scratch almost. And I think in that sense it should add some value to your knowledge of modeling and simulation. We will be talking of introduction to physical systems, their modeling and simulation. So naturally, the first question comes to one's mind: what do we understand by physical systems? So before that, the question is, what is a system? And there are several abstract definitions for this. There is no unique definition as such, but perhaps the one which is quite understandable is that it is an entity separable from the rest of the universe by means of a physical or conceptual boundary. Now, when we call it as an entity, it could be a physical entity, a system could be a physical entity, or it could be an abstract entity. Okay? It's an entity separable from the rest of the universe. So you could isolate it from the rest of the universe, from the rest of the other things. You can isolate it, say a human system. And in a human system, say the nervous system or the circulatory system, okay, or the respiratory system. In each of these cases, you are talking of a system about which you have a clear boundary in your mind. Okay? So it's whether it is abstract or physical, a system is an entity which can be separated from the rest of the universe by means of a physical or a conceptual boundary. The second aspect of system is that it's composed of parts. It has components. It could have components. And these components have to interact with each other. Now we will attend to the meaning of physical systems. In the light of what are systems, let us have a look at what are physical systems. Physical systems are those in which energy or power is transacted between their components. And this sounds very simple, but it cannot happen in general. There have to be certain conditions which have to be fulfilled for this to happen for physical systems, because a transaction of energy or a power transaction has to take place between the components of the system. And in physical systems, power or energy, the rate at which energy flows, it can have diverse forms. You can have energy classified in the mechanical domain, in the electrical domain, electronic, thermal, chemical, fluid. Okay? So you have different domains for energy. There is another very important aspect of physical systems, which is the aspect of cause and effect, or input and output. And perhaps most of you, I am not sure whether you have had exposure to this, but this concept of cause and effect is extremely fundamental to physical system dynamics. We will discuss this more when we talk of cause and effect or causality of physical systems. So causality is an important aspect of physical systems. It is the cause and effect relationship between the components of the physical system. Okay. So in order to have an effect, there has to be a cause, and that cause can be in the past up to the present. Okay. So this is the idea of causality, which we will dwell on in detail a little later. Now the next thing is, we are going to model physical systems, and we are going to ultimately talk about the details of modeling. But why are models needed? If we are to understand the behavior of physical systems or the response of physical systems when they are subjected to various conditions, one can have hardware models, one can have software models, which are actually mathematical models implemented in software, or in say in analog domain in the form of analog computation. So one can have models implemented in different forms. And with the help of these models, one can perform experiments, or one can have simulations and make measurements. Okay. One can use models for design and testing. One of the most important applications for models is for control. When you want to make systems behave the way you want them to. And that is the important aspect of engineering, that we are just not interested in understanding the behavior of models, but we are also interested in controlling the behavior of models. And that's what differentiates engineers from scientists, the ability to control. And in order to do that, again, we require models. And of course, if we are to deal with mathematical models, we require a systematic way, systematic derivation of system equations and computer coding, which is required for simulation, because we would like to see how the model would behave. So modeling of physical systems is therefore an essential prerequisite for studying the response of systems, of physical systems. And you see, we will be discussing in our lectures on an aspect of physical systems which is actually linked with computer aided design, because ultimately you are going to have models which you are going to simulate on the computer. You are going to design systems, physical systems, with the help of the computer. Now, first of all, why the digital computer? We are going to use a digital computer, not an analog computer. In the good old days, maybe not all that very long back, sometime in the 50s, 60s, the trend was for having analog models, okay, analog computation, because at that time the digital computation techniques were not well developed, or they were in the process of development. So the digital computer, it has several capabilities, and that's the reason today it's quite popular. So let's just review them. First of all, the most significant advantage of the digital computer is that it is programmable. One can program it to suit different applications, and so certainly with the help of the same computer, we can make several models. Okay, we can provide input conditions for different models. We can handle in multi-energy domains. So that's because of the ability of the computer, of the digital computer, to be programmable. Not only that, when we say programmable, it's just that you have to have software. You are not going to invest in additional hardware when you are talking of programmability. Okay. The second aspect of the digital computer is the ability to rapidly execute repetitive tasks. Okay. Computations which you would have had to do otherwise by hand. Okay. So these can be handled very well using the digital computer. It can be interfaced with peripherals and machines, and so today you are able to integrate it with different systems. You are able to provide inputs to the digital computer in different forms. You are able to experience outputs from the digital computer in different forms. And the best part of it is that it is affordable today. Okay. So there are other aspects to CAD, and modeling of physical systems is an essential part of the CAD activity. And in CAD actually we have a number of other things, perhaps you might be aware of them. You have commercially available software, you have IDEAS, CATIA, Autodesk products, but these are essentially for solids modeling. They don't enable you to understand the dynamics of physical systems. Okay. One can prepare drawings and material specifications with these software. One can do planning and processes. This is also part of CAD. Estimation, integration with manufacturing, automated inventory, monitoring and control, and I am certain that this applies also to your textile applications. Costing, marketing, enterprise management, the whole works. Now let us come to the aspects of physical systems. If we are to understand how physical systems behave at any point of time, how should we say that a system is in this state at the moment? So we need what we call as state variables. So for a physical system, we will have to capture its state variables at a particular point in time. Okay. So what are these state variables? They are the minimum number of variables required to describe the behavior of a system completely. Okay. And they may not be unique. But their number is unique. So you will have the same minimum number of variables required to describe the behavior of a system completely. Okay. And these state variables, because you are going to deal with the behavior of systems, you see the behavior of physical systems is going to change with time. So you are going to deal with the changing states of a system. And so the change in the states of a system can best be handled with the help of differential equations, because that's the only way you have for representing something where there is a change of variable involved. Okay, so how the variables change with respect to time. So the rates of change of states, and these are represented with the help of ordinary differential equations. We have constraints also, because in physical systems one also has constraints, and we will come to each example in course of our lectures. And